afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Drive Time on this January 19th, 2026, Martin Luther King Day. We are here, and it's like weird because I know some people have the day off, some people don't. I wish more people had the today off to be able to honor it, but it is what it is. So if you had today off, hope you enjoyed it. Maybe watching some basketball or hockey. There's both of those on. We got the scores kind of trying to go down there at the bottom of it. And we'll keep you up to date as we see stuff that pops up here too. So I am joined, of course, by Showtime Sarah and the one and only Scooter. Sarah, of course, she's surviving from her jet lag because we did have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take her to the airport to get her back to Raleigh. So she's back in Raleigh. How you doing? You surviving? You gonna make it through the show, or are you gonna fall asleep right there at the desk?
I was like kind of debating if I just like have the computer set up on my bed and then I lay back, like don't have to show my face or anything, but just audio. But then I feel like midway through, you just hear me slowly doze off. But no, I'm fine. I got some energy. I'm eating right now, so hopefully that'll help me.
That'll help. There you go. Scooter, how are we doing today?
Good. It snowed overnight here and iced a little bit, so it was a fun little morning. But hey, it was no big deal, only a few inches.
It took me 30 minutes to defrost my car today because it's been sitting in a lot for 3 days. It was not fun. I'm starting to realize maybe my defrost is just not great, but it's oh well. It's an old car. What do you expect?
Well, hey, that's half the battle, just getting through it. So speaking of getting through it, let's get to it because we definitely, once again, as always, have a lot to cover. So we start off, of course, with this little reminder that not only can you watch the shows live on YouTube and Facebook, but you can also listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Castbox, and Odyssey. You just have to wait till the next day. So then you could listen to these while you're driving, of course. Or also now on YouTube, you have the option of 24/7 service on Sideline Junkie. So you can catch any show when you want after it airs. So just we're out here for you. We're doing our service for you, the viewers, and we hope that you enjoy it for sure. So just that little reminder. But of course, we have to start with my favorite segment, Say Can You Sing? And this one, ladies and gentlemen, we had 2 entries to go over. The first one we have was Norelle Simpson. She did the one for the Pittsburgh Steelers game, back the wild card game way back a week ago, but that was before our show. She was okay. It was a 40, just average. But then last night was the guy that I've been waiting to get on this list, but I was afraid he was never going to be able to get on this list because he is normally the Blackhawks anthem singer. And for those that don't know, the Blackhawks have not made the playoffs in a very, very long time. So with that being said, I wasn't sure exactly when we were going to get him onto the list, but the Bears did me a solid and they had him sing the anthem last night for the Bears game. If you haven't seen it yet, go on to YouTube, check it out. But an anthem is good when on social media, the second after it airs, everyone is posting on social media, oh my God, check out the anthem. And that was going on all over the place last night. So needless to say, he finally shows up and he delivers as always. Jim Cornelison is one of the best anthem singers. I've actually got to hear him live once because I did go to a Blackhawks game in Chicago at the United Center and got to hear it live. There's just nothing better than him. And he delivered as I thought he would with a solid 50. If I could give more than a 50, he would get it. But can't do that. So anyway, so there he is. He's on there with my 50 and he's there. So did you guys get to see the anthem yesterday?
I did. It was great. And I love the national anthem when it's those who are doing it are like no nonsense. They're going straight at it. And he goes straight at it. He's got that voice and it just like goes perfectly. And people get behind it too, because it's quite easy to follow when you do an anthem like that.
The best part of it too was that I saw one of the social media hits of it was somebody was recording it from like outside a bay from where the United Center is, and or from where Soldier Field is, and you could hear him loud and clear from like what seemed like a good I would say, 2,000 feet away. It was just that amazing. But yeah, you're right. He sings it amazingly well, and that voice is just beautiful. Of course, Sarah was here live with me, so her and Jared were laughing at me with the anthem. Once I saw that it was him, I was like, oh my god, it's him. So I was freaking out when it was on live, right, sir? That's
Yeah,
it.
it was so funny because, like, he's freaking out, and I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And then Dad goes, "Jim Corneliuson." I was like, "That doesn't help me at all. I've never seen this guy before." But his anthem was pretty good. I will give kudos.
Yeah, so we have a new updated top 50. Jim would be like 1A, even above my other favorites here. But what this now means is that the top 10 is the 46 or higher club. No longer can you get into the top 10 with a 45. So we're really getting to the nitty gritty now of the best in order to get here. So, but I know it's my fun thing that I love to do, and that one last night I was definitely stoked for. So I appreciate the Bears at least coming through with that. So with that, let's get into our football roundabout, and let's start off with the games. We're going to go kind of in order of, well, I've had to flip flop this because, of course, of the obvious news in Buffalo, which we will get to later, of course. But with everything that happened here, so we're going to go in order, kind of from least exciting to most exciting. And of course, the game that was least exciting was the blowout where Seattle just destroyed San Francisco 41-6. The game wasn't even that close. Seattle took the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and basically it was over from that point on. Darnold was okay, 12 for 17 for 124 and a touchdown, but they did remember that they had Kenneth Walker again, and so he had 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey only had 74 total yards for San Francisco. I thought that Seattle was maybe going to blow them out just because of everything that was going on, but I was not expecting it to be this bad. So, Scooter, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Seattle went out there and took care of business. Like San Francisco showed up, they're all like, yeah. And all of a sudden, Seattle's like, no, no, no. And I mean, they were just unbelievable. I mean, Darnold didn't have to play great. That defense took care of business. His offensive line, a lot of room for that running game. That's unfortunate about Sharps. Sounds like that's a done deal for him. But
Yeah, he's out for well, if they're saying the rest of the season, but could
yeah.
be well into next year too.
Yeah, he's a really great runner too. That's really unfortunate, and that does hurt Seattle going into the championship game, of course. But not having that, he's more than just RB2. But San Francisco, it wasn't even close.
Sarah, any thoughts on this as we watched some of that game, and then we realized that it was over with, and then we turned it off, or everyone went to bed. But what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think I actually stayed up watching it a little bit later than you did. I think it was 34-6, and then I was like, yeah, I can turn this off knowing fairly well where this we already knew where it was going to go with the first 10 seconds of there being a whole pick six. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's so weird with San Francisco. When they lose a game, they blame it on their injuries, but then like when they win a game, it's like they praise. I don't know. It's very back and forth. But definitely sucks for them. I think what's gonna hurt more is that they have to either watch Seattle or the Rams in their arena during the Super Bowl. That's gonna, if they win it in there, it's like when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in Las Vegas Stadium. It doesn't feel great.
Yep, I hear you on that one completely. Totally agree. Anthony giving us some breaking news here. Apparently, the Miami Dolphins have hired Jeff Hafley as their next head coach. I'll be honest with you, I've not even seen that yet, and I just checked. I checked ESPN for this, and I don't even see that ESPN has it updated yet. So hold off on that there, Anthony. I'll try to do some research on him and give you what I think of him when we get to when we get to the coaches part, because we do have a coaches part coming up here for sure.
Well, let's just put it this way: that it'll be a tougher day in Green Bay today, if that's true.
Yeah, right. Because he's their OC or OC, right? DC. Okay, I knew one of those C's up there. So we'll see.
Some C.
Yeah, but they did decide to keep LaFleur. Speaking of Green Bay, so that's an interesting decision too. But I guess not everyone can do that. So that was the first boring one, and then to me, the next boring-ish one was New England taking care of Houston. A lot of this too was based on, just Stroud did not have a good game at all. The 4 turnovers, interceptions in the first half. A crazy stat. Houston's now 0-7 in the divisional round. So they can win a playoff game, but they're now 0-7 in the divisional round. May was okay, 16 for 27, 179. He did throw 3 touchdowns. He did have an interception. Stevenson had a good day, 70 yards rushing. The dagger in this game was that heck of a touchdown catch by Butte, which was a Butte to say the least. And he had 3 receptions for 75 yards and that touchdown. But New England takes care of business at home. It's just too many turnovers for Stroud, just the wrong game to have 5 turnovers, and it just was not going to work out well for him. Scooter, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, Houston's got a great defense, but New England, I've said this, before the playoffs started, well, or at least when the playoffs started, was that don't be surprised if not only New England makes it to the Super Bowl, but can win the Super Bowl. I'm not there yet on winning the Super Bowl, but they certainly can play like they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know what to think about New England because I still had the Brady and Belichick feels about New England, but this isn't that team. I kind of like Mike Vrabel. I don't dislike Drake May. I like those 2 guys. So I'm trying to get used to the idea that, okay, this New England team is okay to root for, but I still have my bad feelings for them. So Sarah, what were your thoughts on this one?
This was in a way a messier game. It was still a good game. Obviously New England pulled away with it. It kind of went how maybe you would expect it to. I think maybe the little rain mix weather they had going on probably didn't help cases. But a lot of people, we'll talk about the Buffalo game later, but a lot of people talk about how it was Josh Allen's chance to really prove things. This was CJ Stroud's chance, I feel like. Houston is 0-7 in their divisional round. So it's almost as much as a concerning stat for them, I would fear. But this is why I felt cautious about Houston the entire season. I was like, I don't know how much I should trust it. I'm not saying this game proved everything to me, but I think it definitely highlights some of the concerns you have with the team, that there is still work to be done.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you're right about CJ Stroud also, because he had such a great rookie season, and last year's and this year's and he's just not. The performances aren't good in the playoffs. It's going to be interesting. Next year really depends on CJ Stroud. It should be a stressful season for him.
If I have to give Stroud one little benefit of the doubt, he was playing pretty well going into this game. And then remember, no Nico Collins. The first series, Dalton Schultz goes out, and then later they lose their other tight end too. So he was without a few of their better weapons, in that game too. But still, some of those picks he threw were just god awful. And so we'll see. I think he's going to still get at least one more shot at this one. And it is now official because Shefty is reporting it. ESPN has officially put it on their Twitter page. Jeff is the new head coach of Green Bay. So we will get into that a little bit more when we get into the coaches round. So the next game, and originally I was going to save this one for last because game-wise, I thought this was the best. But with the other news breaking out of Buffalo, we'll cover this one first. The game last night featured just, the Chicago looked like they're going to do it again. They're down 17-10. It's 4th and whatever it was from the 10. Caleb Williams goes basically back 25 yards, throws the ball off of his back foot, and somehow Cole Kmet comes down with it in the end zone. I don't know what the defender was doing on that play at all. And they tie it up at 17. And then, there's the controversy of the Adams. Was it a catch? Was it a fumble? And, that leads into the whole Buffalo-Denver game, which, again, we'll get into that. But needless to say, there were 3 different scenarios where you had this catch, maybe fumble scenario. And 2 of the calls, they were called fumbles. And one of them, it was called a catch, So it's all kind of, interesting of how these plays get determined. But the bottom line is LA then drives down the field. They kick the field goal in overtime after a bad throw by Caleb Williams on the interception, which, yes, DJ Moore does stop on the route on it. But I still the throw wasn't even necessary. It really wasn't there. So I don't know that would have been open anyway, but the interception comes back, and And again, this is where I think did Ben Johnson go for it a few too many times, because you think back, there were 3 different drives where they went for a 4th down, were successful. Any one of those drives, they were in field goal range, and Santos was making the field goals. It's not like he wasn't. So, maybe it's a learning experience for Ben Johnson. Maybe he'll get some of that, of that out of his system. I don't know, because that's just how he's always done it too since he's been there. But it was just definitely an interesting game. I felt bad for Chicago and for their fans, because, man, I'll be honest, this was my bandwagon team, so it's kind of hard to watch. But at the same time, it was a great game, and now this sets up a fun one between Seattle and the Rams, which we'll dive into that a little bit later too. Scooter, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think 100% again with you on the you got to get the points, go for the field goals, and I love the snow. Perfect, it was great, but it wasn't too snowy. It was perfect to kick a field goal or 2. So I think, because I made that same complaint last week. You did. That the Bears they lucked out, they got through it, but they could have really made it a lot closer before they had to come back like that. And then one of the things too. I mean, I thought it was just it was a big heavyweight battle between 2 really good defenses and really good offenses. So it was really fun to watch. It was a great NFL football game, I thought. Interesting at the end. I know it seems like every time they go to overtime now, that you're winning the coin toss and you're kicking, kind of like they do in the beginning of the game. On this one, I think Chicago, I mean, they had that momentum going, and I know they were on the field. That Rams defense was on the field a long time. Yep. In that 4th quarter. Now, I think this is the one time when Ben Johnson kind of played it too safe. Like, okay, well, I'm going to kick off. And it seemed to work until the interception. But because the Rams really didn't get anything going, and they got the ball back in the interception. But, I mean, I would want to have Caleb and that team go right down the field and score 7 points. Yeah, because I mean, what it was, the Rams basically had the ball for that one kneel down, and that was it. And before that, Chicago had the ball for a good 4 minutes of that on the end of that. So yeah, I do agree with you. Before that too. Yep. And I get it, because you're doing the whole, you want to know what you have to get before you get the possession, since there's now, each team gets a possession. But I agree with you. Momentum does matter. And I think that was an interesting decision for sure. So Sarah, what were your thoughts as we watched that game together? Because we did get to watch that one at the same time.
I think obviously the 2 highlights of the game would be the 4th quarter iconic touchdown throw pass from Caleb Williams to what's his name? Komet. Number 85. I just know it's number 85. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But that was iconic. And then of course in overtime, I think it was just kind of obviously ruined by the interception. I'm pretty sure that's gonna eat Caleb Williams up, keep him up at night for sure. But I feel like if you are a Bears fan or just like somebody, just even like on the team in general, you really can't be upset with losing that game. You lost in overtime in your divisional round, and with a first-year head coach. Like, I feel like that is a great start of a rebuild compared to other teams where, it's compared to Buffalo or Pittsburgh, where it's literally taking them years to get past a certain point. So I think you really can't be too disappointed with the turnout of this game. Chicago had a good run. I think they'll have maybe even a better run next year. It really depends. But, I mean, you can't really be too upset. Caleb Williams, he's still a great quarterback, just a terrible play. Every quarterback has one of those. And sometimes what happens with those kind of plays is you think about it, you're like, okay, well, cool, I messed up. And then you become better. So I think it's a learning point for sure.
I 100% agree with you on that. I think this will be a great learning experience for Caleb Williams in his first moment in this. You can kind of tell the difference between the two. You got Matt Stafford, who's been through this many times before, and you got Caleb Williams in his first. I do think it is the first of many for Chicago. There's no reason to believe that this team won't be back at all, next year. So I think that's well said. So that gets us to the last one, which was also an exciting one that also went to overtime. This one, Denver pulls out 33-30. we'll get into the Buffalo side of it in a little bit because that will lead off our coaches fired section, obviously. So instead, I want to kind of focus more on the Denver side of it because yes, Denver wins this game, but then of course the news of Bo Nix's injury on the last drive with the fractured ankle, which now means they're going to be going with one. Oops, hold on, I hit the wrong button there. Not yet there. I was trying to go back through my notes here. So that means, of course, that they will be going with the one and only Garrett Stedham in his 5th start ever. We'll get more into that as we get into it, but it's a big win for Denver, but at a huge cost. But again, this game was back and forth too, and was fun to watch as well. So, Scooter, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun game to watch. I thought, Denver just played really good, and yeah, Buffalo. They gave up that many points because Buffalo's offense is that good, and let's be honest, Buffalo could have won that game if Josh Allen had a better game. Like it wasn't one of his finest performances, and that was unfortunate for him. But great on Denver. Here's another one where is Denver real? Like, can they make it? And that was another one where I felt they could make the AFC Championship game and get to the Super Bowl as well. So we have Denver, hosting New England. It's gonna be really fun. Jared Stidham, we'll see. He was the one-time possible Tom Brady replacement. There's been quite a few of them, but in New England. But it should be interesting next week. But Denver just took care of business. Buffalo, we'll get to them, I suppose.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a perfect segue for. Well, first, Sarah, what are your thoughts on it before we get into the segue?
Wow, crazy. You're very obsessed with this Coach Karras.
I know. I want to get to it.
Okay, well, I won't hold too much long. I mean, this game was so back and forth, and it kind of really proves, even like with last week with the Jacksonville game, that Buffalo very much survived on a limb already, I would fear. Because this game was exactly that. Obviously, they didn't survive. But it makes sense of why they did what they did. Of course, there's mixed feelings about it. For dinner, for Denver with what's next. I'm eating dinner, so I'm thinking about dinner. With Denver, with what's next. Bo Nix, it's extremely terrible. I don't know if anybody saw my comments on the Sunday Rise, but I was talking about how, like, with the Stanley Cup playoffs, you have, like, so many players that play through, like, terrible injuries. And football is obviously very different. A broken ankle is a broken ankle, although I'm pretty sure there's been several hockey players that played with it. But again, it's all different categories. I kind of sometimes wish hockey was kind of like football in this way, where play through it. But kudos, I guess. I don't know how it's really going to go for Denver. I would say their Super Bowl chances have now decreased. But maybe they might pull it off. I don't know much about their backup quarterback, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, we can get into that here for sure. But first, we'll get into these coaches changes. So, of course, the breaking news of today was that Sean McDermott is fired in Buffalo. And I know there's been a lot of heat on this one about, this particular game. And look, 9 years in Buffalo, the 4th time in the last 5 years that they exit in the divisional round. He went 98-50 in his 9 years, but 8-8 in the postseason. They are keeping their GM, so it's only McDermott that's losing it. And I agree that Allen did not have his best game, and that's part of what happened in this. But let's remember, too, the one fumble that he had at the end of the first half, that was as much on McDermott as it was on Allen, because they had no timeouts left. There's 18 seconds left in the half. Why are you throwing the ball at all? Take the knee, go into the half only down 7. Like 100%. That was the smart choice to make. And I don't know why they did it the way they did. And who knows? Maybe that decision is the one that got McDermott fired, because there's 3 points right there. And clearly Allen, I think it'll come out that Allen was playing through an injury, because he had some balls that were underthrown at the end that could have been. And then you have the whole, was it a catch, was it an interception thing? I think at real speed, I think the right call was made. But when you slow it down, which replay has the ability to do, there is a moment where it looks like he's got control of the ball and that knee is on the ground before the ball is ripped out of his hands. And we saw in other games where similar plays were called, where they're called as down by contact. And this one, the interception stood. So I get any Buffalo fan that has concerns about that. But the bottom line is, you gave up 33 points. Again, the defense doesn't do their job again. And I think this was the year. So I'm not shocked by this news, but I'm still just a little bit surprised. I thought with them beating Jacksonville that might be enough to save it, but maybe the way that they lost this game was it. Scooter, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I totally agree with you again about people were looking at maybe McDermott gets fired before the postseason started. Like if he can't, if he loses first, but he took care of business the first round, and I thought that would, no matter what happens, that's good. But I kind of agree with, after 9 years, I think Pittsburgh's kind of going through the motions with the Steelers. Like maybe we should have moved on from, coach 4 or 5 years earlier, Mike Tomlin, who's a great coach, but at this point, he didn't win anything, after 4 years at this point. So you do get to the point where it's like, okay, when are we going to improve past this? We see it in hockey all the time. I mean, coaches they'll get to the finals. They'll get fired for not winning the whole thing because they're there to win the whole thing, especially after a few years. So 9 years is a long time. Bean brought him in. The general manager brought him in when he was hired, so it was his guy, and it's his call to get him out. And it's not like it's not an untalented team. People bring up, there's not been Pro Bowlers and this and that. It's not. It's a talented team. It's a very talented team that could win the Super Bowl, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Again.
And you have to wonder. We'll get into the coach's hiring spot. Like this is probably now the one spot where any coach is going to want to go. I think because look, you've got the pieces there. You just gotta to be the guy that puts it, finalize it, and gets it put together, for sure. So, Sarah, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay. So, you've seen people blaming Josh Allen and blaming defense. I would just say my iconic quote that my dad knows, it's 50-50. There's no other way to really describe it. Sure, you have a ton of turnovers and everything, but you gave up 30 points. It's typical. I mean, like Scooter was saying, talking about Pittsburgh and everything, these teams might just want new eras. This is a Sean McDermott, and then you had Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. Those were all eras of those teams. Sometimes those eras obviously have to run out. You can't constantly depend on it, especially if it keeps giving you the same result each time. Buffalo would always lose, whatever. And I mean, I talked about it with Caleb Williams. This was Josh Allen's also moment, to kind of show, hey, it's not just about Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow. This is completely different against a rookie, kind of sort of rookie quarterback. There shouldn't have been really much to stop them per se. I mean, obviously Denver's great defense-wise, offense-wise, they're the number one seed, but there's so many excuses for Buffalo, and sometimes you just get tired of the excuses. So cut out everything, start new, start fresh with a new coach. I mean, I get it. It happens. But I'm sure McDermott will find a place elsewhere for sure, comfortably, but we'll see.
See, I want that excuses thing too. That's true. I mean, we saw Sean McDermott after that football game.
Mm-hmm.
He just went off on.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. You have to take accountability for these sort of things. Yeah. You can't just blame on everything else. Be like, oh well, this wasn't right. The temperature wasn't 70 degrees, 72 degrees. Yeah. No, there's certain things
too. You're right.
And yes, and Maddie, you are right. That was a catch. It went all the way through. It was. He didn't follow through with the catch. And it was
Right.
intercepted. Excuse me. It was intercepted. He did not catch it. It was intercepted. And then Buffalo lucked out too because there's a major holding call missed inside of the end zone,
It
which what
was.
should have been a safety. The game should have been over. So, I mean, there are bad calls that are bad calls. They get missed.
Yep.
Then there's some calls that went okay. So the NFL, they went a little too quick on that, but which they should have held off a little, made
Just
sure.
even just for the look of it, right? Just
Yeah,
to say, hey,
exactly.
yeah, you're like, Colorado just scores to make it 2-1, by the way, just because I'm watching that one live, so I can see that one. I know we got some Cavs fans out there, so that's probably bad news. So here's a good question that the correspondent brings up: does McDermott get another head coach job in this cycle? I know what my answer to that is, but Scooter, what's your answer?
Maybe, but he certainly deserves a shot. Definitely. I mean, it's not a bad coach. I think he's a very good coach. But I don't know in this round. And if I'm him, maybe you wait around. Yeah, maybe you wait till next year. He may be a defensive coordinator candidate too out there too.
Sarah, what do you think? Yes or no? He gets a job in this cycle.
He does.
I
Maybe
agree.
he won't be head coach. I could see obviously
No.
maybe trying to go offensive
I will be
coordinator.
honest. As a Raider
I would
fan, if the Raiders go and get McDermott tomorrow, I would be 100% okay with that because you know what? I'll gladly take 5 years of making the playoffs because my team has sucked for so goddamn long.
Okay,
Like that is
you
a
say
welcome
that,
improvement.
but then you're gonna get of it. I
No,
know
well,
how
maybe
this is
I
gonna
said
go.
for 5 years he'll like look, and I'll give a perfect example like Rod Brindamore with our Carolina Hurricanes. Like he's gone through this now where before him, the Hurricanes sucked. Now they've established this. So now yes, Rod Brind'Amore's got to get over the hump and win and get at least to a cup final. I think that pressure is on him, and that pressure would be on McDermott in Las Vegas too at some point in time. But I'll just take a coach that gets them into the damn playoffs to start like that. That's so yeah. So I think all these teams that have an opening are calling him just like they did Harbaugh. So that's my answer to that question. And the other guy that also got fired this week was Mike Tomlin. So another long-term work goes out. This one, he was just, he still seems like he's there, but he's resigned from the head coach. 19 years at Pittsburgh, never had a losing season, made the playoffs 13 years, 193, 114, and 2, but 8-12 in the postseason. And the key one, he's not won a postseason game since their Super Bowl appearance in 2016. I think he knew the writing was on the wall, and this one makes sense. But I'll say this for a Baltimore Buffalo, and this is why I told Jared, my son, who's a huge Steeler fan, be careful what you wish for because you might want it back once it's gone. And we'll see for all three of these teams, is this move the right move for these three teams that have been good teams, made the playoffs, but haven't gotten into the game? And is this coaching move going to help any one of these three teams? And that I'm not sure of. Scooter, what's your thoughts on Tomlin at being added to the list?
Well, I think like when it comes to these two, like if Buffalo, like if they get a new coach and it fails, then you can like really be like Buffalo didn't maybe they did the wrong thing. Now Tomlin, I think the time expired. The time is over, and well, officially he still has a contract and they could trade him, and I guess that's the smartest move. I mean, if you're Tomlin, I mean maybe I take a seat for a year, hang out,
Yeah,
maybe get a good NFL network gig.
I agree. I think he's going to sit out for at least. I think he is going to sit out till the next round of this happens, but we'll see how that all plays out. So, Sarah, what are your thoughts on Tomlin?
It just goes into like the different eras I was talking about. You obviously get tired of certain things. I mean, it's hard to describe, I would think. I mean, I'm sure some teams are trying to call him right now to see if he wants anything, but I could see how nothing is really catching his eye at the moment. I do kind of think like maybe some sort of triangle effect is going to happen because Harbaugh went to New York. I know this is crazy. Obviously, it's not very far from Baltimore. So like I'm thinking like maybe they're all just going to like trade places with each other. It's going to be like some sort of juggling off. I don't know. That maybe just because it's all kind of up there in the New England part. Like that's just kind of my theory is like they're just gonna juggle around with those three coaches. But I I don't know. It's a crazy theory, but
Yeah, there's a chance we will see that. So that takes us to the other side of this, and we have had some of these openings get filled. The first one, of course, was Harbaugh going to the Giants. I think like we talked about last week a little bit that once Harbaugh decides where he was going to go, that some of these other spots will start to fill in. I think Harbaugh was going to be the first piece. And look, I get it. You got an exciting quarterback in Dart. You got an exciting receiver in Neighbors. You got Scattaboo. Like there are pieces there for the Giants that would be intriguing for a guy. So I get it, and you're in New York too, so he stays on the East Coast. I think it's a good hire. I think it's a good spot for him, and we'll see how it goes. Scooter, what are your thoughts on Harbaugh to the Giants?
Well, this is great for the Giants because John Harbaugh could deal with the pressure of the New York media. Those guys are relentless, and I mean, a Tom Coughlin can handle that. A Bill Parcells can handle that. These other guys couldn't. Harbaugh can handle that, and that's why he's there. And he'll take care of business. The New York Giants will become good again. As long as he and Schoen, the general manager, can have a good relationship, because it kind of sounds like that's why there is a 5-6 day delay in getting this thing done. Harbaugh wanted more control. He didn't want to be told what to do by Schoen all the time. Yeah, but I get it, because John Harbaugh, he has street cred. It's like if Mike Tomlin goes somewhere, he can go in. He's got street cred. These guys can go in there and make these moves, but it takes a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Sarah, what are your thoughts on Harbaugh to the Giants?
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, maybe I hate it a little bit because like we could have had a Las Vegas moment, but I mean, who knows what train we're riding at that point. But I mean, I think it's definitely fitting. New York has some good pieces. I mean, we can't lie. Jackson Dart, I think he is a good quarterback. He just needs better pieces around him. And where did I? Oh, really?
I think that counts. You said
okay.
hey.
I wasn't even fully aware. Okay. But no, so New York has good pieces. I think with a new coach, it can definitely help them figure out how to put those pieces together. But it'll definitely be interesting. I'm definitely intrigued to their next season.
I agree. We'll see how it goes, but I think it is a good hire. Then this one, it was a little bit more surprising to me. Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta, so he leaves Cleveland for Atlanta. He is an offensive-minded coach, and again, you got some good offensive pieces here with Penix if he's healthy, and then of course Bejan, and then London as the wide receiver, and maybe he can unlock Kyle Pitts, because there's one thing for sure Stefanski has had success with, and that is making tight ends very good in Cleveland. David Njoku, and then the new guy. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Because I had him on my fantasy team.
London?
And no, the tight end for Cleveland, and I'm
drawing. Oh, yeah, Njoku, and yeah, I know.
And the rookie kid, and I'm drawing a complete blank on him. But anyway, I'm sure he'll pop into my head here one point in time. But I think it's an okay move. Yeah, where is he when we need him? But I'll look it up because he's on my fantasy team, so I'll find him. But this one's an interesting one for sure. So Scooter, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it's a steal for Atlanta because Kevin Stefanski he's a really good offensive coach, and he's a really good offensive, almost a genius, if you will. And he was stuck on a team called the Cleveland Browns, which
Harold
is always
Fannin.
a problem.
There's the name. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And being stuck on the Browns. And remember, he was stuck on the Browns, and they did that horrible deal to get Watson. So they lost all this money they could have used elsewhere. Well, he sat, and when he played, he stunk. And then he doesn't play again because of his Achilles. And he did that twice, I think, to the same one. And but Stefanski won 2 coaches of the year.
He did.
In that slaughterhouse out there. So Matt Ryan probably down in Atlanta says, this is the guy I want. I mean, look what he did in Cleveland, and that's a S show. So he's going to come down here, and their ownership is well less crazy. I mean, it's getting older, but Arthur Blank. But it's a good move for Atlanta. They're already almost there.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said there on that one. Sarah, what's your thoughts?
Is it weird to say I don't really care about this one?
No, that's
Like,
fine for you to say.
Not weird at all.
Like, one, the guys from Cleveland, and then two, Atlanta's in the NFC South, and I'm trying to do my home duties of cheering for the Panthers. So honestly, I wish them the absolute worst. I don't know. I mean, Atlanta already got clowned enough when they picked up. Oh my God! Now why am I dipping out on Kirk Cousins when they picked up Kirk Cousins and then they drafted another quarterback? That was a very interesting move. Obviously, it doesn't have nothing to really do with their head coach, but Cleveland kind of did the exact same thing with doing whatever they wanted to do with their quarterback extravaganza. So to be honest, maybe it's a good fit. I'm not really sure. But at the same time, I don't really care.
Okay, well there we have
Atlanta's
it.
did get rid of that GM also, so he's not there any longer. And,
yeah.
So there's and they. I mean, I think Atlanta right now goes to with Stefanski right there and the pieces they have and what Matt Ryan or whoever the general manager is going to be. If they add to it, I mean, they could be one of the sleepers next year. Yeah. No, I mean, Penix, I don't know. They might need to really actually worry about a quarterback again because I don't know. Penix, that's just bad knee stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, I mean, let's not forget that he was drafted a few rounds after RG3.
Although, in fairness to Kirk Cousins, he did win like those 3 games that he played at the end. I mean, he did look decent. And then the correspondent throwing in here that Pitts is a free agent, which I totally forgot that. Yes, he is a free agent, so they'd have to re-sign him, which would be interesting to see where he goes and if that happens or not. So we'll see how that one plays out. And then as Anthony broke for us earlier on the show, Jeff Hafley is to Miami, was the Green Bay defensive coordinator. This was just happened just before the show went live. So I'll be honest, I have not done any real research on the guy to give any real stats, but Miami is off the clock now too, as far as with their coach being hired. So Scooter, you got any thoughts on him?
Yeah, Hafley used to be for several years. He was I mean, he's younger. He was he was the head coach at Boston College. I mean, they were under 500, I think, with him there. But he's really defensively, he's a really good defensive mind. And I think that's good. I mean, while Miami has all this offensive talent, I think that they need a guy, who can talk to some of the younger guys.
New quarterback.
But he's going to be tough. And they're going to be more of an emphasis on defense down there, which is smart, I think. Because the offense, you don't know what they're going to do yet. So worry about the defense first.
It's always funny when you have these teams, where they go from they have an offensive minded guy and then it doesn't work, and then they go to a defensive minded guy, and then or you have the teams that do the opposite. They have a defensive minded guy, their offense kind of sucks, so then they go to the offensive minded guy. Like, it's always interesting how you have that ebb and flow of these coaches' decisions. I think that's what this one is here, but we'll see. I mean, I don't, it's a new guy, so it's his first chance as a head coach at the NFL level. And on those ones, given the benefit of the doubt, I did hear Sarah do the quarterback, and I think she's right on the money there. Like, I think Tua clearly is not, but they do have Ewers who played the last few games. Maybe they give him the shot. So Sarah, did you have anything else you wanted to add on this one, or?
No, like I said, I feel like they should still keep going with the offense because I mean, I've already said my piece about the quarterback. But there is still a lot to fix, I fear. But maybe I don't know much about Hafley other than where he's from, but maybe he has a good balance of both. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I always liked Miami. Like, I liked when they were doing good that one year, and then now they died. So, I mean, like, I like when they do good, but I just don't expect it anymore.
And let's not look at it like the fact that he's a defensive coordinator coming in to be the head coach, and it's going to be just defense. I mean,
I know. I'm just saying, like, what he knows.
Right.
Although Green Bay's defense was
Up and down.
Like if you look at Sean McDermott, I mean, Sean McDermott's offenses score like crazy,
Yeah,
and he's a defensive guy.
true.
Like Brian Billick was an offensive guy. He goes to the Ravens, and they have one of the greatest defenses in the history of the league.
Also true. We'll see how that all plays out. So there's the up-to-date coaches. So now let's get into the matchups.
I would like to say one thing about with Buffalo real quick. I'm sorry, is that they got their offense coordinator Brady, who's already interviewed for several people. I wouldn't be surprised if he interviews with Buffalo and gets a hefty raise and becomes their head coach. Not a shock, but it's all.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Then you get into, okay, well, if you're blaming the head coach, can you really hire one of his assistants? Because that's what I saw with Cleveland, because Cleveland's interviewed their 2 assistant coaches. I'm like, okay, well, if the problem was Stefanski, then how then is the solution one of his assistant coaches? So, but we'll see. I think you could be right.
Brady is actually, I mean, he's done really awesome there.
Agreed.
And that's not been a problem as the offense. Has not been a problem. Neither is defense, really.
Yep. So now we get into our conference championship matchups. The first one is at 3:00 on CBS. This one is interesting to me because I honestly still think we had the Bo Nix injury. We've already mentioned, of course, who's going to be playing in this one. It's going to be Garrett Stedham making his 5th start ever, his first since 2003. He's never played in a playoff game. Can Sean Payton get him ready? Or does Denver try to bring somebody in real quick? I don't know who you can bring in and have them start when they don't know the playbook or anything like that. And then you have New England, who, let's be honest, didn't play necessarily great against Houston. They had 3 turnovers themselves. And if they turn over the ball like that against Denver, I think Denver's still going to be in this game. So I'm still going to take Denver at home. I just think for some reason, Sean Payton will have him play good enough. And that's all they need. I think they're going to lean heavily more on Harvey now and run the ball and control the ball and control the clock and keep May off the field and let that defense do what they do best. So I'm still going to take Denver in this one. Scooter, who do you got?
Well, since they lost Nix, I got to go with New England right now, just for me personally. But let's not the Stidham thing. Okay, it's not like he's like this younger kid who's like he hasn't played a lot. But It's not like he's this 24, 20. He'll be 30 in August. He's been around the league for a while. And that's one of those things that you stick around the league, you get your chance. You never know. So you never know. But I don't think that they changed their game plan immensely, except with a little, I think you see a little more RJ Harvey. And then I think you might see a little bit more of him catching balls, too, out of the backfield. But as far as it is, I think New England, they have a chance to plow Denver out of there.
I like that plow snow possibility. Good one there. I don't know if you meant to do that or not, but I like it.
I didn't, but it just goes.
Sarah, who do you like?
She didn't like any of them. She wants a tie.
Is she frozen again? It appears that she's frozen because she's
smiling.
Not moved. Yeah, she's at least smiling frozen, so that's good. So, all right, well, we'll see if she comes back to us here in a little bit. So,
wait.
Maybe.
Am I back?
Are you there? Yes, you're back.
Okay.
New England, Denver. Who you got?
I want Denver to win. I'm so terrified with Bo Nix's injury that I just have maybe a little bit more confidence in England's game, especially over Houston. But
Happened again. All right. So it sounds like I think she's going.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
okay.
You came back. Go quick.
Okay. Where was I even at?
You said you want Denver to win, but you think New England, and then you lost it.
Oh, okay. I want to trust that without Bo Nix, they will be fine. I just have a little bit more confidence in New England's game right now, I would fear. Drake May, let's be honest. It's in the name, okay? It's in the name. But it's all over the place. I would say New England as of right now. Of course, I would have to see how this Stidham guy plays to really know, but I wouldn't shy away. I wouldn't push away the fact that Denver could totally come back because I mean they were very resilient against Buffalo. So I could see being 50-50, but I just trust New England a little bit more since Denver did lose a star player.
There we go. I was like, okay, well, which one are you picking? There we go. We finally got it out of you. So you
I'm
got
sorry.
the Patriots. All right, then the 6:30 game on Fox, we have the Rams in Seattle. They split the regular season. Both games were extremely close. The Rams went at home 21-19. Then Seattle had that crazy comeback to win 38-37 in overtime. Darnold did throw 4 interceptions in their first matchup. Seattle finally, remember, they have Kenneth Walker, and of course with the unfortunate accident to Zach Charbonnet, that's going to mean they're going to have to lean more and more heavy on Walker. So this one is my toss-up. I think you could make an argument for either team winning this game. I think in the end, I'm going to take Seattle just because they're at home, and that 12th man does matter at times in those crucial moments. But my only caveat to that is I don't know. Sam Darnold could Sam Darnold at any point in time in the playoffs, and if he's Sam Darnold's, then I clearly like the Rams. So he did Sam Darnold in the first team, and they still almost won. And that's my hope for Seattle fans, is that you can still pull it out. So Scooter, who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's 6-2 at home. It seems like that 12th man thing is back, and they look pretty good the last week. But I mean, the Rams are a really good team. They're real tough. Is Seattle going to make Matthew Stafford look old? Is that defense going to make him look old, which is the big question? Don't know yet. But I like Seattle against the Rams right now. But that could change. But right now, I do.
Bad news for you, the Caps fans. Colorado just makes it 3-1.
It's
Sarah,
not 3-2.
Oh, geez, I must be behind then. So that's a quick goal back. So Showtime, what do you got?
Don't get me wrong. Seattle played an amazing game. Obviously, murdered San Francisco. Of course, they were playing against a very injured San Francisco. And then LA, they were playing against Chicago. There's no way to really describe Chicago. It's just Chicago. I would say that LA is the team to beat. And I don't really know how to explain it that well, other than the fact it's just I think they did just Seattle played an easy game, if that makes sense. Seattle had it a little too easy, and I don't think LA is going to give them that kind of battle. LA's obviously going to fight for it, They kept it very close with Chicago. I think a lot of their defensive and offensive parts will kind of keep it a tight game. But I'm thinking, oh my God, what number even was that? A Super Bowl? What year was it? Oh my God. The 2019. I don't remember what year that was, but I'm thinking a 2019 Super Bowl rematch.
Ah, yes, the most boring Super Bowl ever.
Okay, but it's gonna go different.
What was it, like 13-3 or
13-3, 13-3,
Yeah,
New England
something
won.
like that. Yeah, that one was so. All right, so there we have our predictions. Anything else on the NFL side before we wrapped up? Yeah, so my feed's got to be 60 minutes behind because there was the I just saw the Frank goal to make it 3-2. So I'm like 60 seconds behind you somehow, Scooter, on my feed, I guess. So
it's okay.
Back and forth we go. All right, so that is the NFL side of it. Then, of course, there is the big game tonight. This game is at 7:30 on ESPN. You have the number 1 seed Indiana against the number 10 seed Miami. Sarah, I'm going to let you start because I think from last week we had the idea that you are picking Indiana in a blowout. Has anything changed from the last episode to this one to change your mind that Miami can make this a game?
Nothing has changed. It's the exact same. Miami is not prepared for this at all. I don't care. We already talked about the battle of should they even be in there? They should be in there. Don't get me wrong, but talent is talent. We're talent. Oh my God. Am I back? Okay.
Yeah, you're here. You're here.
I think I'm back. I don't even know.
You haven't been off. You're good.
Okay. It scared me for a second. I saw loadings. Miami should be here. Don't get me wrong. But Indiana is different. Indiana is literally built different, I fear. And I could still see it being like a slow to start game. Like Miami is going to be in the game maybe during the first half. Second half, though, Indiana runs away with it. That's just how I feel. I can't really. I'm trying to think. Let me give you a score. We'll make it. We'll make it a little bit. I'm thinking like 42-17.
Okay. Scooter, what do you got?
Well, if I'm right, I've seen Indiana usually takes care of business earlier in games than later. And I mean, it's such a talented, really good, awesomely coached football team. They have everything going for them. Now, if they can get a few turnovers and they score off of those turnovers, like touchdowns as opposed to field goals, they have a chance to stay in the game. But Indiana is just so powerful. But I mean, Indiana, there's a chance it's like 45-15, that kind of thing. And I think it's like it could be early, like 30-3 early, that kind of.
I know Indiana's gotten off to these hot starts early in the first two games, and is it possible they can do that again? Yes, 100%. But I think Miami's defense is going to keep them in this game.
That's the key.
Their defense has played. Look, like they Ohio State. Everyone thought that Ohio State was just going to roll all over Miami. That didn't happen, And now, granted, yes, Ole Miss was able to put up points against Miami, but they were able to match them. So I think this game is going to come down to Miami's defensive line against that Indiana offensive line. And if Indiana is able to control that line of scrimmage, then yes, I do think it can be a blowout. But I think Miami's defense is going to have their moments in this game, just because they show. And while yes, I 100% expect there to be a lot of red in the building still tonight, but this still is a game in Miami. Like Miami's going to have a clear home field advantage in this game a little bit. Like I think it's going to be probably 60-40 still. Because
I probably know 15 people who are U fans going to that game tonight.
Right. So I'm sure they got their hands on the tickets, and I'm sure that they are going to be in there, and that's going to help Miami. Like there's just no doubt about it. But Indiana did go into Oregon, a very loud place, and did just fine. But I think that's going to be enough to keep Miami in this game. I do think Indiana gets the win. It's going to be more interesting to me, obviously, is how does Mendoza play in this game, because the last I heard, I think Mark Davis has about a contingent of 6 people that are going to be at this game live watching it, and we all know why. So we'll see how that all plays out. We'll get more into the draft stuff later, obviously, as we get to it. So I'm going to take Indiana as well, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think this has like a 30-24 feel to me. And there we have it. So that's our football stuff. Anything on either the NFL or college before we wrap it up with a bow?
Well, some people don't realize it are the Mendoza brothers. They weren't born down in Miami, but they went to high school in Miami. So it's their people too. So
yep.
It's going to be one of those things. It's like a homecoming.
Yep, it'll be fun to watch for sure. I think it's going to be a good game. So, all right, let's get into a little bit of hockey stuff before we wrap this show up here tonight, because we do have potential contenders coming on later, and they've got the time crunch with the game starting at 7:30. So, a little bit of hockey news. There was a couple trades that we do want to go over. The bigger one was this one here. Rasmus Andersson goes from Calgary, and we talked about this last week, where I think you are going to see these pre-Olympic trades happening, and that's what we're seeing happen. Is a couple of these teams are starting to make these moves beforehand. And this was one of them. Rasmus Andersson gets traded to Vegas from Calgary for Zach Whitecloud, a 2027 first round and 2028 second round. Some of those are conditional, depending on if Vegas wins the Cups or not. And they also trade a prospect in Abram Wybe that's playing for North Dakota right now. Anderson's a skilled D, set to be a UVA after this year, but he can play the power play, which Vegas does need help with. He played with Noah Hannafin before he went to Vegas. I imagine those two are going to match back up together again. Whitecloud's a solid D that goes back to Vegas. He's actually been with Vegas since they started in 17-18. So they lose one of those original Vegas connections. But overall, I think this is what Vegas does when they know that they need a spot. They're not afraid to go out and make the deal. And that's what they did here. Scooter, what are your thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, I think it's great for both teams. Vegas gets a little stronger. Calgary, they weren't going to re-sign him anyways. They're probably not going to make playoffs, most likely. And they get a first and a second round, maybe even a first and a first. It'll be a higher draft pick, but hey, you're getting some good, you're going to get some good talent out of that trade.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm kind of surprised that they got that much for him for a pending UVA, but hey, that's what they set the standard, so to speak, for this one. Sarah, what are your thoughts on this one?
Kudos to White Cloud for escaping Vegas. I'm so sorry for Anderson that he has to go into Vegas. I
Jeez.
have
Ouch.
okay, but it goes back because why Carter Hart is injured right now, but like just associating that team, you're talking about, oh yeah, if they want to make a move, they're gonna get it. Yeah, they do, but it sometimes is not exactly the best move because why is this guy on the team? He shouldn't be on a team in general. He should not have a career. But I mean, that's just my fair opinion. Of anybody involved, whatever case is going on. But life isn't like that. So, womp womp. It's a good deal. It is. Just putting aside my bias, it is a good deal. Anderson is a phenomenal defenseman. Kind of hasn't maybe played well. I mean, Calgary's still in the picture, I would say, but they're not, I think, where they want to be. So I think trying to go after getting some more like with their picks and getting White Cloud, I think can definitely help them from it. But I can definitely see it being beneficial for sure. Oh my god, that was a lot.
There you go. Well, and you somehow did that without saying that you hate Vegas. I was waiting for it, and you never said.
Waiting.
But you didn't do it.
I feel like it's pretty solid.
But those are the rules. You gotta say it. So this one happened earlier today. Kiefer Sherwood goes from Vancouver to San Jose for Cole Clayton, which is a throw-in player who is basically never played in the NHL. He's an AHL guy. They get 2 second rounds, 1 in 26 and 1 in 27. So again, a pretty good return for Sherwood, who's a pending UVA, who does have 44 points, should add some help to the Sharks on that third line spot, which they look, they got the young talented core with Cerebrini, but they do lack the depth, and this adds a good solid player to go into that mix. So I do like the deal for San Jose, and hey, they're in a wild card spot right now. So I like that they're showing some, instead of being sellers like they have been the last 2 years, they're actually making a move to try to make this a run this year. And in the West, I think it's wide open to get in after those top 3 demon teams that are up top of it, obviously with Minnesota and then Dallas and Colorado. So Scooter, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, good for Vancouver. They're the worst team in the league. They're going to most likely finish last at the end of the season. And the Sharks may not make I mean, they're in the playoffs, but there's a chance, a 50-50 chance. There's a 50-50 chance that they don't make the playoffs. So that even helps Vancouver even a little more, the draft pick wise. But I mean, good for the Sharks, I guess. Sherwood's a good player, but yeah, I think Vancouver did better.
Okay, I like that. Showtime, what do you thought on this one?
I didn't really even know who Sherwood was, so there's not much I can say about this.
I named a forest after him.
I don't think. I think he was I'm not sure, but it seems like a good move. I mean, Sharks are obviously doing something, and Vancouver is probably just trying to go in for Gavin McKenna. So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that could be.
That's how I see it. It's just Vancouver's just settling for Gavin McKenna. That's what their goal is out of the season, just getting Gavin McKenna.
And Peeve is taking Chester's spot here as being the show cat now. So he's the new office manager, and he's going to be the new cat for the show up here. So he's hired for the spot. So an interesting. We heard Chris Drury, who is the GM of the Rangers, basically say, yeah, it's going to be, you're going to see some guys go. So it seems like the New York Rangers are waving the flag. Which, yes, this season has been a disappointment for them. Shesterkin is out for a bit of time. Jonathan Quick has not been good. They had to bring in Spencer Martin, and he's not relived to his days with the Canes, where he had some solid performances for the Carolina so far. It sounds like Trocheck may be gone, Panarin, but Panarin does have a no trade clause, so he's got to kind of agree to go somewhere. But he's a UVA pending, so. Scooter, do you think is this so? Are the Rangers actually going to be getting rid of some players, and are they trying to suck for McKenna as well?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, they're not going to suck as bad, I think, as Vancouver is, because I think they're actually like 12 points better than Vancouver is.
Right.
But they are the worst. The Rangers are the worst team in the conference.
But remember, NHL does do a draft lottery, and
they do a draft lottery, and you never know.
Could
Right.
the Rangers somehow magically win this, just like Pittsburgh somehow got Sidney Crosby, and like I could see that kind of happening.
And you better get used to that. The Hartford Wolfpack players playing in the Madison Square Garden, because they're going to be the New York Wolfpack for the next rest of the year, and it should be surprising. I think they're going to do pretty bad now, so there's a chance they win like 10 more games this year.
Why do they have to go? Or is there something wrong with the Hartford Arena or something? Or
no, the Hartford Wolfpack is their AHL team.
Oh, I got you now. I thought it's just going to be
the Hartford.
I thought the Hartford was having to play in New York for some reason, because there's an issue with wherever the Wolfpack play. So you're making me nervous.
But the Hartford, they already had a roof collapse once.
Yes. Now I'm following you. So there we go. Got a Hartford. Now it's tied at 1. There we go. So,
but it makes sense though. Obviously, yes. Brewery's going to bring up a whole bunch of the Wolfpack players, and they're going to lose a bunch of games. Now maybe they don't. But he's going to give his young guys a little shot at the the pros.
And then, of course, a game later tonight down in Florida. San Jose goes down to Florida, and one Matthew Tkachuk is back. So, Sarah, what are your thoughts on Matthew Tkachuk being back?
Is this what you want? Is this what we're going for? I don't care. Okay, I hate that guy. Look. Okay, to even talk about this in the spectrum, can we talk about the curse? Can we talk about the curse? Is that too much? The curse that we speculated over sports.
If you want to go for it, you can. Yes, you can talk.
Okay, Scooter. So I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, but after each sports team show their medals or their trophies or their cups to Trump, usually something absolutely terrible happens to them afterwards. The Florida Panthers, obviously just showed their cup to Donald Trump, being like, "Oh, we won," and then Matthew Tkachuk says, "Oh well, meeting you, Trump did all. Shut up. No, that's cringe. Whatever." And then they lose 9-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes. You're telling me that is not ironic? You're telling me that there's not some sort of scientific theory that
I can counter that, though. I can counter that.
No, don't counter it.
The Florida Panthers went to the White House last year with the same trophy.
That's true.
I'm just saying. And they wore the same ties that some people don't like. But they won the whole thing. So I'm just saying.
I do want to see. I know where she's going. It was a funny tweet by Sarah Sivian, which, by the way, if you're a hockey fan, you don't follow Sarah Sivian on Twitter. She's a great follow, by the way. But she posted it, and I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it yet. But if I find it, I find it. But I don't want to row tie it. But it was an outline of teams that have done something with for Trump, and then how they've not had good luck after doing that, which it was funny. I found it humorous. So I was trying to
Gotta have fun with it.
Yes, exactly.
Not having fun with the politics,
Hold on here. I'm going to find it. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. Here it is. So he says, U.S. lost the Four Nations after a call with Trump. Lost the Ryder Cup after Keegan Bradley did the Trump dance. Team USA welcomed him with open arms, and the Panthers lost 9-1 in their first game after this. Guy might be worse luck than Drake. I mean, that's funny.
Yeah, that is.
that was her bit. So it was good.
That's good. I like it. I just have a counter. There is one the big counter there, but yeah, I get it.
Right.
It's funny.
it's all in good
Okay,
fun.
but
So
that means that he's 1 out of what, 3? That no. I take these chances, and my chances are that this guy, there's some sort of voodoo shit
curse.
going on, and it's just ironic. And of course, as a Canes fan, I'm smiling about it because we beat the Panthers 9-1. Now, will we do that in the playoffs? No. But take it how it is, you know.
Kachuk is back. Kachuk.
For
Again,
yeah.
even my brother, that's one of his favorite players
Wait,
is
hold on.
Kachuk.
What did they play
And he always
again?
says it sounds like a lieutenant with the Klingons. Lieutenant Kachuk.
Wait, who
does.
did they
I
play
agree.
again?
They play San Jose tonight.
Today is a good day to die.
I have to look. Who can injure?
All right, so let's start wrapping this bad boy up here. So we will have a show, of course, next week on January 26th. We're going to recap the NFL Championship weekend. I was going to get into this originally. We had this scheduled for today, but then with the breaking news with McDermott, I knew that was going to take up some time, and so I knew that this was going to. I want to get into a little bit more detail the contracts that Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette signed this week. Not as much what it does for 2026, but in case you hadn't heard, Kyle Tucker signs a $60 million deal with the Dodgers. Bo Bichette signs a very hefty deal with the New York Mets. So my point is going to be, what does this mean for 2027? And I don't think it's good news, but I want to take some time and dive into that. So we'll save that for next week's show. Scooter had some news about some changes that NASCAR is making, and same thing with that. I didn't want to just gloss over it. So we'll save that for next week and let Scooter dive into that. It sounds like he thinks that they're good changes. So we'll get more into that next week. And then, of course, our big Olympic hockey preview show is going to be February 2nd. We will break down the women's draw. We'll break down the men's draw. We'll give you our medal predictions. So, this is going to be the best hockey tournament that we've had in a good decade. Now, the only thing that would make it better is if Russia was playing in it. From the purely hockey side of it, I get why Russia isn't playing in this tournament. I'm 100% on board with it. But from the hockey side of it, this would be amazing if Russia was in it, but they're not, and I get it. We'll dive into that a little bit more too when we talk about that. But we are going to do the women's side and the men's side because the women's side is going to be just as exciting. It's going to be great hockey. And as the crowd from the PWHL game showed you in Washington, they drew a record crowd. The women's hockey is soaring attendance-wise with the PWHL. Like they're doing these games in other cities, and they are just doing amazing. So something to keep an eye on too. And I do at least now have a date for my legalized gambling show. We're going to do that on March 2nd. Breaking it down, I have a date for it because we'll be through all the Olympic stuff by then, and that's kind of just before March Madness really gets going. So I think that's going to be the episode where we can kind of get into that. The NFL will be over with, college football will be over with, so we can dive into that. And it's before really, baseball doesn't even get going yet. So I have a date set for it. So there it is. The March 2nd will finally be the legalized gambling.
I'm going to be in Palm Beach Gardens down there at that time, and I'm going to hopefully try to hit up some games. So hopefully I can hit you guys with some palm trees behind me.
Oh, there you go. That'd be fun. So that is our down the road as far as what we got coming up on the show. Of course, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. You watch us on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, now on YouTube, we're available 24/7 where you can go back and watch any show when you want on demand. But you can also listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Castbox, and Odyssey. Those are available the next day. So you can actually listen to Drive Time while you're driving, if that's what you would prefer to do. And then, of course, we have all of our shows. So coming up tonight, Pretenders and Contenders will be on at 7. Then tomorrow, we got 2 shows, Unapologetic Sports at 6:30. Yours truly might be joining them for a bit at 7 o'clock on the show tomorrow. So they asked me to come on. I'm looking forward to going on with them because they are fun. It's a great show. If you haven't watched it yet, Unapologetic, they're just that. They don't care. They focus a lot on football, but they give some hot takes and it's fun. Tuesday Night Flight, of course, then will be after that. KG, Midnight Rider, and the Gentleman Jack usually on there. Sometimes it just depends on who's out on assignment. Then our NBA and college basketball, Nothing But Net, is on Wednesdays at 7:30. Then you got the passenger seat following that at 8 o'clock. The Thursday Night Throwdown with the guys at 7:15. The Gridiron, the greatest fictitious show on 11 a.m. where they break down the league that everyone's in. The WrestleManiacs at 9, and then the Sunday Morning Rise will get you ready for your Sunday football action on the weekend on Sunday. So there you have it, folks. A lot going on. So it's that time where I throw it to you guys. Scooter, anything you want to add as we say bye-bye?
I do. It's important to add that I'd like to wish a big happy birthday to our good pal Ben Conchi, the Midnight Rider. He turned 77 today. So happy 77th birthday, Ben. I mean, I've only known you for a few years. I mean, you're like 30 years older than me, but keep it up. Love you and thank you.
Speaking of Midnight Rider, if you did not catch the Sunday morning rise yesterday, Midnight Rider was solid gold on that one with his references about being second to Jesus, and with it being his birthday coming up, like just hysterical. So if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it, because it was Sarah and I were cracking up at him when we were watching it, making breakfast yesterday morning. So it was good stuff for sure. So yes, happy birthday, Midnight Rider. I'm sure you will be in full celebration mode, with probably some type of mixed drink in your hand when you're on with the coach here in a little bit. So we'll have to see what his drink of choice is tonight. So Sarah, what do you got?
Happy birthday.
Okay, there you go. Well said. So
she's a lady of few words, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, that's right. It's no, you got to win the game to win the game, but we'll just go with the happy birthday today. So that works for me. So I don't have much to add. Just enjoy the game tonight, everybody. It should be hopefully a good one. Enjoy the football next week. Get ready for some incredible hockey here, just a few weeks away. I think right now, with everything else that's going on, we sometimes need sports to be that little getaway moment. And so that's what we try to do here, is just have some fun. And so with that being said, make sure that you tell your loved ones that you love them, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Give them a hug. But if you are here with us, hopefully you'll be here with us again next week. So until then, we say bye-bye, adios, and all that good stuff. The U. I was waiting to see what you're going to do. So boo the U. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
You can't do an I. I.
Yeah, that's it. IU.
I'm like, no, it's a T. It's an I. I'm going crazy over here. Turn it off.
No OHIO anymore. That's for sure. All right.